Good afternoon. This is Neil with Simple Futures, January the 9th. We are starting the second week of January, ending today right where we finished the first week last week, 39.12. Price that we've been dealing with since last May, if you remember. So the low last week, 38.14, some odd down here, traded up past Friday's high into a new high today, but then gave it all up, came all the way back into last week's settlement. So here we are, 39.12, up 0.5%, actually maybe 0.4, but anyway, 0.5% from the year open 38.95. And it puts us back about 38.2 per 0.2% retrace of the move from last week's low to the high. But the weekly pivots back here just a little bit further at 38.80, call it 5.66, I think. So what I would be looking for is a little bit more pullback to buy a little deeper for still yet the move higher. The reason is the weekly pivot back there. That also puts us back between the 50 and the 618, as you can see on screen there, of the move. And also because the volatility for this week, we really haven't gotten there yet. So that's tomorrow. Powell speaks in the early morning pre-market. And he's been talking the market down when he gets a chance, to wait for more data, don't talk about pause yet, we'll see how things are going and, that kind of thing. And it sort of talks things down. That's been, as of late anyway, modus operandi. So then we go into Thursday where we get the CPI. Now that's a big one. That's the volatility for the week right there. And then after we get past that, we'll have UOM, a prelim on the UOM consumer sentiment on Friday morning, along with the prelim from the UOM's also inflation expectation. And earnings season kicks off with some big name financials that morning. Bank of America, Citi, JP, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, et cetera, kind of kicks off earnings. So really, today was like, why go anywhere? Besides that, it was the day after a non-farm payroll report where we often don't get very much in the way of, any real advance or anything anyway. And then we get into tomorrow where it starts to matter. Powell, then it matters again on Thursday where it really matters actually. And on the CPI. And then, like I said, on Friday with the reports as well as the kickoff earnings season. So if bullish, and that's the way I'm leaning, then what we want to do is pull back a little bit more, try and get them here about this 38.85 area right here, and then we'll try and run them up to target 39.92. If you want to shoot for 4,000, I imagine that's cool in the S&P futures, which would put you at about 39.70 in the SPX because there is that spread, to deal with. And if in the event, that it craters and it's actually bearish, not the way I'm looking, but anything can happen, why then we're going to be looking lower. We'll call the line in the sand, the hinge point here, weekly pivot at 85.6. We'll call that the spot that really needs to hold. Starts to look bearish below there, then you'd be looking at 37.50 and 3,700 on the short side, but that's just plan B, as if as the what if it doesn't work and it actually starting to look lower, then that'd be what we would target. So that's what I've got. Hope it helps. Good trade. Nice evening. Be with you again midweek and check on things, see how they're going. Take care.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency. It's one of the things that won me